Greetings all you whiskey lovers out there. This is Mark from WhiskyWhistle bringing you whiskey review number 33. We're going to be continuing our journey with Johnnie Walker today. And as you can see in front of me, I've got a very special bottle. This is Johnnie Walker Blue Label, but not just any Blue Label. This is the Casks edition. What's that, you may ask? Well, it is a higher proof, 55.8% ABV. Higher proof, perhaps more, well, maybe more malted version of the regular Blue Label. Anyway, now if you had watched the previous review, Whiskey Review 32, then you saw Johnnie Walker Black Label along with a little bit of history and information about the brand. So if you'd like to know more about Johnnie Walker, please look at Whiskey Review number 32. And I'll put that in an annotation, maybe right up there, okay? Well, very excited about this. Again, it's been a long wait to get into Blue Label, which many people all over the world feel is, well, perhaps the prize, the most loved whiskey brand for many people out there. Of course, it's a blend. It's a blended Scotch, so there's some grain whiskey in there. Additionally, there's no age statement, so we don't know how old it is. If anybody does have any inkling as to what the age of the youngest whiskey in this would be, please do leave me a message. I'd love to know that. And if you are a returning subscriber, thanks again. Your first time today, then thank you for joining, okay? So let's get right into the pouring. Lovely little bottle with a little tassel on it, reminiscent perhaps of a kilt, I wonder. And if you look at the bottle, it's got a blue tinge to the glass and a very heavy weighted bottom at the bottom there. So it gives it quite a luxurious feel, and it's got a cork rather than a screw top. Okay, set that there, and pour a small amount of this one, not too much. That's a little bit too short, I think. Yep, that should be good. That's about 20 milliliters, enough for tasting. Now, this bottle is a loaner, well, from my father-in-law. It was his 60th birthday here in Korea, which is a very big deal. That's called the Hwangap. So to my father-in-law, happy birthday. So should I say that in Korean? Why not? Let's see. Usually I just call him 아버님. So 아버님께 생신 축하드려요. Happy birthday to you, to my father-in-law. So this was opened for that special occasion. All of his family was around him, and we had a wonderful time. So, including the uncorking of this particular lovely bottle. So, this is Johnnie Walker Blue Label, the Casks edition, and we're going to give that a nose and a taste and check the finish, and then we'll wrap things up, okay? I'm going to give that about a minute, okay? While I'm waiting for that to open up, let's have a look at this interesting box. So I'll put that up nice and close for you. And we'll read the back. Johnnie Walker Blue Label, the Casks edition is a bold limited edition release of Johnnie Walker Blue Label for connoisseurs who seek new depths of flavor. Crafted from some of our rarest casks, this limited edition release, bottled at 55.8% alcohol by volume, has intensified oak flavors and is a tribute to the perfect harmony of the oak casks used in the blending of Johnnie Walker Blue Label. Johnnie Walker Blue Label, the Casks edition, draws on the uniquely rich flavors of each of the casks in which the whiskies have rested. These carefully selected casks ensure a robust and powerful flavor experience with a rich and lingering oak finish, rarity redefined. And there's a little bit more inside here. Oh, by the way, that's a full liter, so isn't that nice? Extremely rare casks from our unrivaled reserves, each noted for their intensity and depth of flavor, are handpicked by our master blender, Jim Beveridge, and then skillfully blended in small batches to create the supremely powerful expression of the art of blending. Okay, the rich wood flavors are layered to create a uniquely powerful and robust flavor experience that retains the signature smoothness and complexity of Johnnie Walker Blue Label. The Casks edition should be enjoyed neat alongside a glass of iced water, which should be sipped first to cleanse the palate and hone the senses. The product of almost 2 centuries of unbroken blending expertise, Johnnie Walker Blue Label, the Casks edition, is rarity redefined. There we go. Well, let's get on with it, shall we? Now, I will try this neat, and since it is a whopping 55.8% ABV, which I believe is about 100 proof for the UK or the European system of proof, that's 111.6 proof for Americans watching. Still has that nice balance of peat and fruit, which gives it a real freshness. And what I'm getting now is some kind of a little bit of an earthiness to it, something a little bit different. It really does seem like they're using some very aged casks in this blend. Earthiness, mild peat. There's oak in there. There's grapes. There's nuts, figs, both dried and fresh, and black licorice to spice things up a little bit. Very compelling nose. I don't really sense the grain alcohol so much, the grain whiskey, I should say. Of course, likely whatever grain whiskey they do use in here would be fairly old, so that also develops its own sort of flavors, doesn't it? Okay, well, we'll try that one. And a happy birthday again to my father-in-law. It's not harsh for 55.8%, although it does build up if you keep it in your mouth as long as I did. And I'm getting bananas, some Christmas candy, you know, with all the little stripes on it. Some leather notes, some black tea notes, pepper and icing sugar. Okay, what about the finish? Cheers to all of you. It's also got a very nice mouthfeel, a little bit of oiliness. In the finish, some raisins that are there. And you breathe in, you get some wood smoke, apples, tiny bit of peat, but not much, and it's very long. Yeah, it goes and goes. The raisin flavor really stays there. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of water. I'm going to add 1 teaspoonful. That's going to bring it down into the 40s. We'll see what happens there. Well, anything else going on? Well, today is January the 13th. It's Wednesday. For the Twitter world, the Twitterers out there, the tweeters, well, happy Whiskey Wednesday. Excuse me. It's a cold day here in Korea. It's about -7, and probably it's cold wherever you are, unless you happen to be in this southern hemisphere. Cold day and a very good day for something like Johnnie Walker Blue Label, the Casks edition. This will really warm you up. The figs really come out here, along with ripe bananas. Nutmeg and some spice. Okay. Thanks again, everyone, for joining me. More candy. The introduction of a little bit more pepper. Increased dried fruits. It is drier with water. And a little bit of an oilier mouthfeel as well. And I can see why they recommend to stick with neat for most people. Although if you are a whiskey fan like myself, then do try it with water. I like the dry flavors. I like all those different flavors. All those different sort of mouthfeels, whether it's astringent or dry or sour or bitter. You need to welcome those and say, oh, there's bitterness here. Isn't that interesting? Not everything needs to be sweet and lovely, you know, as far as flavors go. Okay, one more sip. Fruitier, licorice in the finish now. It's very warming and drier. And still very long as well. Well, you know, I forgot to give this a mark. Where's my pen? I'll have to write down in a minute. There it is. Okay. Well, I definitely do like this quite a lot. I think the Casks edition of Johnnie Walker Blue Label is definitely worth 89 out of 100. Okay, so 89 out of 100 for Johnnie Walker, the Casks edition. Quite an interesting package. Worth trying if you are a malt fiend. And otherwise, if you do like Blue Label, the regular Blue Label, it's worth splashing out a little more to get the Casks edition, I would say. Okay, so 89 points for Johnnie Walker Blue Label, the Casks edition. Thank you to Mr. Jim Beveridge for his great work with this one. And to all of you for tuning in. This is Mark, and you're watching Whiskey Whistle, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.